Jasprit Bumrah again to produce an absolute beauty.
Hello Jasprit, how are
Hello. Good, good, very good.
you? At the end of 2 tests now, how does the body and the mind feel?
It's pretty good. It's not too bad. It feels good to be 1-0 ahead as well. It's been an interesting competition, interesting test series. So yeah, looking forward to the next games.
Something a tad little emotional, I would think. You lost your father at a very young age. You were 5 years old then. Any early memories of him?
Not a lot of memories because I was really young. But yeah, I've got a lot of memories of my mother, working really hard for me and my sister, and a lot of hardships were there when we were growing up. So yeah, all her sacrifices, eventually worked out, and I came into this sport, and I'm reaping the rewards.
So, you studied in a school where your mum was the headmistress. So, how is that dynamic actually? Does it make it hard or?
It was not very hard because she was the principal in the pre-primary section and I was obviously in the higher section. But the worst part is that you can't bunk school because I used to go to school with her. If you do anything wrong, all the reports go there. So yeah, that was the negative side to it. But the positive side is that nobody could mess with you, and no bullying. So all of these things were on the positive side.
Clearly nobody can mess with you. Even the England team are finding it hard to mess with you at this point of time. We'll come to that a little later. But your love for cricket, when did it start?
It was always there. Since I was a child, I always wanted to play cricket.
When you say child, how old were you?
I could be in 5th standard, 6th standard, but my mother is from a service background, so she didn't really understand the sport, and she really didn't think that this option is the best option to go forward, and because there's a lot of variables attached to it, and a lot of people play cricket, so she was not really sure that you could choose this profession as your career. But I don't know where I got that belief that I could do well in this sport. So she gave me an opportunity that, okay, after your 10th standard, we'll give you some time till you finish your graduation. You can try whatever you want to try in cricket, and then if not, probably I was going to go to Canada and settle down there. So, but that didn't work out. And first year into my college, I played in the IPL, 19-year-old, then played everywhere, and then yeah, here I am.
This action, you'd have to admit, it's very unorthodox. How did that start?
At the end of the day, I believe that no action is foolproof, safe, and every fast bowler has some pains here and there. But as a child, when I used to watch cricket, I learned cricket from the television. So I did not get any formal coaching. So I used to copy everybody's action. So I did not have a natural action that this is what came naturally. But later on, I don't know what jumbled up, and this is how I ended up with this one. But it didn't give me a lot of pains in my body, and so I thought that, okay, if it's not troubling me, I'll use it to my advantage. And I was lucky that wherever I went, a lot of the coaches didn't really hamper with it and tried to give me the advice that work on your body and everything else would be taken care of.
Did something force you to get there? Like, was it a small space, or you looked at something and thought, why don't I start like this? When you first started, how did that come about?
So when I started, I used to play a lot of tennis ball cricket, and in India we play a lot of cricket with the rubber ball. So when I used to play, the boundary was only of this size, so I could only go as far as this.
So you couldn't go too far back?
No, not too far back, because that was the boundary.
Okay.
So earlier, I never used to walk so much and bowl like this, but I used to run all the way through. But later on, I realized I'm wasting too much of energy, and the speed is still the same. So nobody told me to do this, but I came up with my own thing that, okay, maybe walk a little and run a little, so maybe preserve energy for the longer spells. And it didn't really trouble me a lot, and it helps me in the longer spells that when you play Ranji Trophy, you obviously bowl a lot of overs. So then later on, I was fresher than the rest of the bowlers. Obviously, I was younger as well, but that helped me. So I thought that, okay, keep it with you and try to take it to international cricket.
Now I want to show you one video of a very, at your under-19 level that you had an action there. Could you talk me through this?
In this, the action was different, isn't it?
Very different, isn't it? So what do you think is the right coaching ideology when people come up to people with different actions and different batting styles?
In this was my first year in under-19 cricket. So as I told you, I learned cricket by watching the television. So this action might be similar to some action that I'd seen on the television and I liked. So I was not trying to change, but I was fascinated by a bowler. I tried to copy him. So that was not the best way to do it. But later on, I did not try to change it again and again, and by being fascinated by any other bowler in the television or watching someone or something that I like. As far as coaching goes, I went to MRF as well. I spoke to Glenn McGrath as well. So he had a discussion with me about tactics and working with Shane Bond in the IPL. I've been lucky in that everybody that came up to me, they told me that, we're not very sure of changing this action because we are worried that you might lose what you have. For me, I think I try to keep things simple, that if there's some physical difficulty or physical discomfort that I'm facing with my action, and then I'm not able to do what I can and I'm not able to execute what I want to, then I need to change things. But if there's no trouble, I don't look to change a lot of things. So you have to find your own way, you have to figure out your own techniques sometimes, and you have to realize what works for you. Some of the batters don't have the best techniques in the world, but their record speaks for itself.
When you're growing up, a lot of people get fascinated towards batting because shots are there. How come you went into a path of fast bowlers where you liked people bowling fast, and who did you enjoy watching? How did that come about?
I really don't know the reason, but as a child, batting really never excited me till date as well. Obviously, fast bowling gives you that kick, and the fast bowling really gives you that excitement. As a child, I was also only interested in the games where the fast bowlers do well or the bowlers do well, low scoring games. I was not really interested in high scoring games, the batsmen hitting sixes, because somehow, I don't know, it didn't really interest me a lot. Fast bowling creates that excitement, and even when the fast bowlers do well, the whole stadium is cheering and you can feel the buzz. So I think that really appealed to me as a youngster, and I think that is the reason that I went in this direction.
So even in domestic cricket, you started with white ball first. Even in international, you started white ball first. And if I'm right, your first big breakthrough did come through John Wright. He spotted you. Can you give us a little bit of a story around what happened then and there?
So basically, that was my last year in under-19 cricket. I had played for under-19, under-25s, and I was in the Ranji setup. But I was not picked. I was just selected for the T20 competition, and that was just my second game and playing against Mumbai, Gujarat versus Mumbai. So John Wright had come to watch Akshar because he was signed, and a lot of the players from Mumbai were already there in the Mumbai Indian squad. So I didn't know that I'll get picked. He was there. Everybody came to know that John Wright has come to watch the game. But I was there. I tried to do my thing. I didn't pick up a lot of wickets. I just picked one wicket, but I bowled really well. I didn't give a lot of runs. So he came to watch one more game, and he inquired. So PP also was there as our captain. He told me that he was asking. I said he's clearly joking that all of these things don't happen. I thought he was making fun of me because I was a youngster. And after a few days, I get a call from Mumbai Indians that, are you interested? I said, of course I'm interested. This is not even a question that I'm interested. Are you guys interested? So he said, yes, we're going to sign you. And then the contract came in, and then you were also there in that side, and I met you guys.
And the love story still continues between you and Mumbai Indians. The first time I saw you was, I remember very vividly, we were in Bangalore. That was the first day as a team we had met, so we had to introduce ourselves, stand up and say, hi, I'm Dinesh Karthik, I'm from Tamil Nadu, I'm representing Mumbai Indians, I'm really happy to be here. And that's the first time I heard you speak, when you stood up and said what you had to. A lot of people were very overawed, because you have to understand, in that room there were a few legends, if I may say so. But you were very confident. You came across as somebody very confident. You stood up, you spoke for a few minutes, you were very confident. Is that something that you've always had?
I don't know if that was how it was looking, but I was not confident because, as a 19-year-old kid, you come into a room where all your heroes, like if Sachin Tendulkar walks into a room, Ricky Ponting is next, Anil Kumble is next, Mitchell Johnson, Jonty Rhodes, and you were just playing under-19 cricket and now you're here. So it felt a little surreal that, okay, you're here, okay, you try to hold yourself, and I was sitting with Akshar, and not the best, team bonding exercise, because now you have to talk, you have to introduce yourself and the person next to you. So yeah, that was an interesting exercise, but okay, I was able to talk, but I was not really confident, but I was trying to hold my shape and get through with the session and try to interact with them later on.
In those initial days, like you said, you've met a few legends. Any interesting conversations that sticks out your mind straight away?
I had an interesting partnership with Malinga. He usually doesn't talk a lot, but he came up to me from himself and he said, I saw your bowling in the first game. He was not there back then, but he saw my bowling. He said, I feel you can really do well because you've got a different action. He connected with me, and he came and told me a lot of stories that he was also given just 6 months, that 6 months is the time that his action will last. I got a little more. I got 7 to 8 months, but so I connected with him on that level, and he told me that you've got a lot of things to offer, and since then the partnership has been good. He still talks to me even during that partnership, and during some phases where I was really eager to play international cricket. I wanted to come up and do well. So he taught me a lot of things that, you know, hard times will come, and before playing international cricket you have to see everything, because if you don't see hard times and you straight away see hard times in international cricket, then you won't cope up. So all of these things you know, came up. A lot of the things were there from Sachin sir was there, Ricky Ponting. So all small anecdotes I picked up.
Give us a little bit of the love story, how you all met. You know, I know she's a sports anchor. She's, you know, I'm sure she's interviewed you. How did this beautiful relationship start, blossom?
Yeah, I'd obviously seen her a lot of times, but you know, we had the same problem with each other, that she thought that I was really arrogant, I thought she was really arrogant, so we never really spoke. But I spoke to her for the first time in 2019 World Cup, and this is how she was here covering the tournament. So I spoke to her, and slowly then we became friends, and we then started talking a lot. And then here we are, and obviously you're aware of a lot of things as well, which we won't bring it over here. You've been part of an interesting conversation as well. So yeah, it's been good, and now we've been married for 5 months. So yeah, very happy. She understands the sport, so she understands cricket as well. She understands what the player goes through. So whenever things don't go well or go well, so we have a lot of interesting conversation, intellectual conversation. So that really helps me. And obviously playing cricket and traveling all the time, you have got your wife with you now, so you have to focus on other things as well, so you can switch off for the game. So yeah, all these factors are really helpful, and I'm very happy that this relationship has developed.
So in the 2019 World Cup, we played and we lost in the semis. Are you a kind of person who moves on quickly, or you sit down sometime, take some time? Does it take time to get over these kind of losses?
Obviously, you were a part of the squad. You know how the emotion of the squad was, because we were really into the tournament and we were really doing well. So we had high hopes, as any other team would be expecting to, you know, win the tournament. But yeah, it was difficult. It took me some time. It took me 3-4 days actually. While you know, you were going back to your home country, I was still thinking about the game. The loss was really hurting, because we thought that, you know, we could win the tournament, and we were really going well. The match went to the second day, reserve day. We still thought we could win, and it went really close till MS was there and he got run out. So everybody's emotions were very high and everybody was really involved. But yeah, this is how the sport works. You learn from it, and whenever it's meant to happen, it will happen, and then you move past it.
You're very young, but you know, it's fair to say that you're a leader of the pack. How does that feel for you? What does that mean to you?
It feels really good. You know, nowadays when we get a lot of respect as a fast bowling unit, because we've obviously worked really hard. In 2018, all of these hard works you know, paid a lot of dividends. It started from South Africa. We really wanted to contribute as a fast bowling unit, and we worked really hard. Everybody's gotten fitter as well. So when everybody contributes, it really feels well, and wherever you go, you get a lot of respect and you're really well spoken of. So it feels really good, and yeah, it's always you can cherish it a lot.
The World Test Championship didn't exactly go according to plan for you personally. And now, after 6 weeks, you've played a test match against England. What changed? What were you thinking in those 6 weeks? Because you've turned around, and turned around brilliantly at that. What did you think? What did a Jasprit Bumrah do during those 6 weeks?
Not a lot of technical changes, because I really felt that whenever I bowl or whenever I play, I always analyze my game. I really depend on a realistic evaluation, that I depend on my own evaluation a lot more than any other you know, coach or any other person's evaluation. So I looked at it, and I didn't really find a lot of faults technically, but I thought I was thinking a lot more, and you know, maybe thinking about the end result a lot more. So I was trying to be in the present. I realized that, you know, before playing the game, I was trying to put pressure on myself, and you know, thinking about the end results, or maybe wanting to make an impact, or maybe, you know, trying to go beyond myself. So I realized that no, this is not going to work a lot, and I'm trying to spend a lot of time and spending a lot of energy thinking about it, and not being in the present, because if I'm not here at that moment, I'm not doing a job for the team, and how can I reach the end result? So if you have to climb a mountain, you have to climb one step at a time. So I realized that, and I give a lot of emphasis on mental preparation, because I feel that you know, as we say, it's a mental sport, and 70–80% is a mental sport. So we don't really work on our mind. So I try to focus a lot on my mind. I've included meditation into my game as well. So you know, that helps me to be in the present, not to go beyond myself, not to you know, daydream and look at the end result, or maybe, you know, keep a ball in my hand that I've taken 8 wickets, 10 wickets, I'm this and that. Sometimes your mind mind, can really take you further, and you constantly fight with your mind. So I like to win that battle, and I like to be in that, and that was the thing that I was trying to do as well, because I realized that it was a big match and I really wanted to do well. I pushed myself a little too much, so I forgot what I had to do at that moment, and really being in that moment and bowl one ball at a time and being there and try to dismiss the batsman. So I realized that, and I tried to change that.
And we look at a few of the interesting photos. Very interesting, I would say, wow, like, you must admit that the word selfie was invented in 2013 in the encyclopedia, but you were taking photos much before that, I noticed.
You should not go that far below.
Where does this vanity come from for Bumrah? Where does this come about?
See, not anymore, because now I'm a married man. So
this
was when I was 19. You can't really take it seriously, because back then all of this was very new, and really sometimes I look at it and I laugh at it.
You look at it sometimes?
No, but I look at some of my old pictures, and my wife also has seen all of those pictures, and she brings it up and you're saying, what were you trying to do? I said, you don't realize what is it, but it was just for fun, and you were just learning, and sometimes you really thought that this was the cool thing, and this was the thing that if you do and you're cool and you're very, very smart. And I'm learning from my wife, because she's 10 times or maybe 100 times better. So I'm taking some tips, but it's getting better. This is the feedback, at least, that she gives it to me.
She feels that you're getting better with that as well. That's good. That's good. That's what matters now.
Yes.
What's your favorite mode of dismissal? Somebody fending a bouncer, or you getting a clean bowled?
For me, as a child, the only mode of dismissal I thought existed in cricket was bowling a Yorker and getting the batsman bowled. Because in tennis ball cricket, that was the only thing that I used to do. There were no length balls, there were no bouncers, no intimidation. I feel hit the toe or hit the base of the stump. So this is how I learned the Yorker, and that's my favorite mode of dismissal as well.
Fast bowler and injuries, they're synonymous. You can't get away from it. When you did get that injury in 2014, what changed after that? What did you bring about?
So 2014, till then, I had not seen any injury, and I was doing very, very well. So training was not a big part of my life. Proper diet, all of those things were not really a part of my diet, because I was young, didn't need a lot of recovery. I thought that I've got a lot of skill, and that will take me further and take me in my career. But 2014, it was not a cricketing injury. I was warming up with the team playing football, and I twisted my knee, and then I got an ACL reconstruction. It's just like a wake-up call that, okay, suddenly I felt that my career is over. I had heard that when surgery happens, you're never the same. Actually, you're never the same. You can become better, and I got better. So I used to look at a lot of videos from the cricketers and the other athletes, that if they've recovered, I can recover as well. Since then, I became more serious towards the game. I took training really seriously. Till date, that changed, and I became stronger. I started training well, I started eating well, started taking care of my body. And injuries, I feel, are a part and parcel, but if I do everything that is there in my control, I try to do whatever I can control and try to prepare in the best I can, and then I can relax. And if you're playing a lot of cricket, then you have to take care of your body, sleep well. If you've ticked all boxes, then if injury happens, you look at it and then you move forward.
So as a young bowler or sportsman, you do think it's a lifestyle thing these days?
Of course, 100%. We play almost 10 months a year, and if you don't have a proper lifestyle, if you don't sleep well, it's a full year job. It's not a thing that you turn up and you just perform. It's a whole thing, because batsmen can get away a lot of with a lot of things. They have a shoulder pain, they have a knee pain, they have to stand in the slips, just clap, and we have to do the hard job, and we change the game. So I really believe that bowlers take the game forward, and so it's a tough job. If there's some small niggle, you can't play. But I really feel that if you do the tough job and then you make an impact, it's satisfying and it will be remembered for a long time.
You are belittling batsmen way too much.
Look, I'm a fan of fast bowling and bowling, so I'll always pick up bowlers and I'll try to highlight them, and so that is how.
Is that something that you do consciously? You do feel somewhere that batsmen are probably slightly treated better in our country than bowlers. Is that something that you've thought of?
100%. That is not even up for debate, because I feel that bowlers do the hard job. It's tough, and if we win, they have to play a major role in it. If you have to win titles, obviously batsmen have to play a role. It's not that they don't have a role at all.
Thank you.
Obviously, everybody has their role, but I am a little biased towards bowlers because I am a bowler as well, and it's a tough job. It takes a lot to be a bowler in all the competitions, even T20 cricket. You know, the batters, the rules are in your guys' favor, that, you know, the boundaries are shorter, the ball doesn't swing now, there's no reverse swing, you've got bigger bats. I don't see any developments coming in the ball to make it swing more or seem more. Keeping all of that aside, if you make an impact, coming against the hardships and coming and making an impact despite all of these things, I feel that, you know, that gives you a lot of confidence and a lot of self-belief to do whatever you want to.
The 10 ball over to James Anderson that you bowled. You know, you bowled a few bounces to him. The passage that followed when you all went back to the dressing room, and the next morning, the 4th day morning when you all did come back, it was a completely different test match. What changed? What was the catalyst there?
See, basically, I really don't want to go into the details, but, you know, when we play the sport, it's never really, you know, intentional that, you know, we want to really hurt the batsman or trying to aim to hit the batsman. That was our tactic, to get the batsman out and get the lower order out, because when we usually go to Australia or we've gone to South Africa, this is what happens. So that was just the way. But as soon as the game got over and the day got over, we were going back. Some of the words were exchanged and we were really not happy. The exchanges were not really pleasant. I did not hear at that time because I was really tired after a long day, so couldn't really hear what was going on, but all my teammates heard. And then usually I'm a person who doesn't, you know, go looking for a fight, or I'll be needled and I get riled up. But when I heard what was said, I really got riled up, and then obviously then I thought, if something has come up, I won't, you know, really back down and stay down, because if something comes up, I'll give it 10 times back. So everybody was really charged up and we were really looking for a fight now, that if now something happens, we won't back down and we'll go really hard, but not to lose shape, because we are here to do a job. We don't really want to just talk and don't, you know, make an impact. So we were really using that fire to our advantage and then wanted to make a result out of it. That eventually happened, and, you know, we were really motivated and determined. Everybody was together. We were really in everybody else's faces, really going hard, and I think that really worked us in our favor. And if at all anything comes up in the future, I think that will obviously be used in the same manner, and that fire will be used in that same direction.
Is this the most aggressive that an Indian team that you've been part of has played?
Obviously feels like it. Everybody was motivated and determined that, you know, we want to really win and, you know, make an impact. So obviously that really motivated the whole team. Everybody was fired up, and that really helped in our advantage. I feel that whenever the whole bunch is together and they move towards a single direction and want to do really well, so I think that really helps. So I think, yeah, everybody's motivated, and that really helped.
Last question, and I think nowadays you can't not ask this question. You have a bigger front foot stride than your bowling stride these days. Please tell us a little bit about, where does Bumrah, the batsman, how come all of this is suddenly happening? And you can be consistent in bowling, but these days, last 2 matches, you've been consistent with the bat as well. I can't believe I'm saying this to you. Bumrah consistent with the bat. Come on now, give us a little bit.
This is what I have a problem with batsmen. That suddenly, when a batsman takes a wicket, we clap, we encourage. But as soon as the bowler does something with the bat, the whole dressing room is laughing. So this is why I have my own technique. You know, we know lower order runs can be crucial, and we are working really hard. Obviously, some of us don't have a lot of ability with the bat, but, you know, we have got that fighting spirit, and we want to try to do whatever we can with the limited ability and at least show a fight. And the results are to be shown. I scored a 50, first class 50 in Australia, playing a side game. That was really satisfying. And hitting some sixes with the pull shot was, you know, I really keep that footage and send it to everyone who questions my batting. So that was really, really interesting. But yeah, it really helps, and, you know, we want to contribute towards the team. And yeah, we're really looking forward to work hard and, you know, sometimes contribute a little more as well.
On that note, thank you so much, Bumrah. It's an absolute pleasure having you. Good luck.
Thank you so much.